Excellent, guys. Okay, so today I'm here with Captain Smash, Jess Howland, and we're on video, but I'm also recording for our podcast. I haven't done a podcast in a while for Hostile, so a lot of the fans, all three of them, have been complaining we haven't had a podcast to listen to. So I've got the podcast running on the iPhone, so while we're on video, if I happen to look down over there, it's not because there's a squirrel, it's because I've got my iPhone with the podcast app going.
Ooh, shiny!
Exactly, especially Chrome. So what we want to talk about today and go over is our whole personal training, what we do here at Hostile Conditioning. We do a lot of group, we do a lot of fitness, we have youth going on, but we're also getting more involved in personal training. And initially, it's more of people sort of sought me out, sought you out, because they said, hey, these guys are crazy, and they seem to know what they're doing and stuff, so would you like to, can we get some personal training?
Mostly crazy, though.
Mostly crazy. So what we decided to do is Jess and I sort of kicked that around a bit and sort of had to make the decision, do we go into the personal training business more purposely, I guess, is the word to look at it overall. As a product of Hostile Conditioning, you know, do we get that going? So that was something that we mulled around, we worked on some pricing, some strategy and stuff. So now we're at the point where we're like, well, yes, now we're doing personal training. It's that simple.
Except we're not really personal training, we're personal coaching. So we don't really like the word personal training because it has such a bad stigma. And, you know, when you're getting coached by people, you know, you want to be around somebody that cares enough about your own goals to get you to the next level. And so, and as coaches, we feel that we definitely care about your goals and we want to help you get there in the fastest way possible. So, also we deal a lot with functional training on your own individual level so that, you know, you're able to just perform better. You want to feel better, you want to move better, you want to look better. So that's the basics premise of our program.
You know, that's, again, you know, we're not a standard gym. If you've seen any of our videos, there's no machinery. We have one lap pull down machine. Everything else is free weights, sandbags, body weights, power racks, kettlebells. And really the whole emphasis is on functionality, athleticism. It's not about show and go muscles. It's about being able to do something with those muscles. So, you know, it's not only about getting leaner, it's not only about making bigger biceps and stuff. I mean, those are all nice things, but athletically, well, yeah, absolutely, right? But athletically, you want to be able to perform better. So as a powerlifter, you know, I'm getting leaner, I'm getting more functional, I'm prouder of that, I feel better about that, I'm moving better. It's very, very important, and we want to do the same thing with our clients. So we're not the, you know, global gym where you walk in and someone, you know, a monkey trainer with a clipboard is going to sit there and say, all right, check it off the card, and we're going to move to the next thing, let me move that pin for you on the selectorized machine. That's not the type of training we do, period, for ourselves. That's not the type of training we believe benefits people overall. And that's not the type of personal training we do. So some people, when they come in to see us about personal training, are a little shocked at first that we're not, you know, surrounded by a mountain of machines and 17, you know, ellipticals and stuff like that. And that's what we try to explain to them, is that those things just aren't the most efficient way to get fitter, stronger, and more athletic and just improve.
Well, I mean, our job as coaches is to provide a purpose, provide a motivation, and provide the way to train properly. And you don't need a lot of crazy machines in order to train properly. I mean, how we separate ourselves away from every other fitness facility in Orleans is by the fact that we don't have a lot of machines. We're not just a facility where you can come in and you're paying for the space to work out. You're paying for somebody to help you along the way with your fitness programming. We deal with, you know, 30-year-olds plus. I deal with the youth from 9 until 13 and 13 on up. And we really focus on developing your body as a whole. And, you know, we have a whole assessment package where we take you through and run through your physical movement screen, see kind of where you're ugly and where you kind of need some work. And we focus our training towards those, but we also focus towards those goals that you want, you know, maybe the six-pack abs or, you know, bigger biceps, bigger bench press, those type of things. So there's a way to blend all of that together in sort of a hybrid fashion in order to get to the goals that you want the most effective way possible.
I think the other thing too is creativity of the training is very different. When you get into the standard gym equipment stuff where it's always, you know, a leg press, it's always a chest press, it's always a cable crossover, you know, you pigeonhole yourself a bit, and it's, you know, it's repetitive. Whereas for us, one of the things we focus on here at Hostile is every workout's different. right? No matter what the goal is, it's all towards whatever goal we're doing, especially on the personal training level. But how we do that, what exercise we do, we change it up so that mentally you're challenged and you're learning and you're getting some different skill set at the same time, but that your body is constantly in a state of I don't know, use the word confusion, but adaptation, absolutely, a much better thing. So it's forced to keep adapting and stuff. It's not like, hey, I can just maintain this because we're doing 2 more reps on the chest press that we did last week. Well, you know what? The world isn't going to move for 2 reps, and neither will your body, right? You need to really change it up. Example, today, one of the clients we had coming in, we worked on prowler, we worked on deadlift, and we worked on kettlebell clean and press. You know, 3 very different exercises, but we combined them together so that we could turn around and work on his conditioning, his core, his strength, and his shoulder mobility. All got trained at the same time, whereas typically you would sit there, work your bicep curl, you know, for 4 sets of 12 and move on. Again, in my world, I think that's just a little too damn boring and stuff overall. And again, we're not going to run into a life-like situation where, good thing I know how to curl this. I'm going to get through this situation. And that bear would hit it because I'm curling.
We used to have a situation like that in the military. It was like one of our old commanders when we were in basic officer school. Like every day we'd come out and smoke us and we'd do flutter kicks and push-ups and overhead arm claps, and our arms were about ready to fall off. And then, you know, so we had this little skit that we performed, and, you know, what if this happened? And all of a sudden bullets were flying and people were dying all around us, and we're like, oh, what did Captain so-and-so teach us to do? And so we all started doing overhead arm claps and flutter
evasive
kicks.
arm claps, yes.
Yeah. It's you definitely have to have a feel for, you know, the training perspective. And it's not that we don't keep a consistent programming perspective. You know, you still do your squats, you still do your deadlifts, you do all those basic moves, but you keep the rest of the programming fluid and dynamic, so it keeps your body engaged and it also keeps your mind engaged. Half the problem with people nowadays is the fact that, you know, you can pull up a cookie cutter workout off of the interwebs, and yeah, it's going to be fine for a while. But everything works, but it's just for how long is it going to work, and how long is it going to keep you entertained? I know I switch my workouts up fairly frequently. I mean, like I have a constant periodized program, but I get bored. Everybody gets bored.
Mentally,
you have to push yourself to do something new, something challenging, to keep your body adapting and to keep on building up to new thresholds. If you don't, you're just becoming very comfortable. I think I just did a blog post about that, but I mean, becoming comfortable with being uncomfortable.
And you know what the big thing is, we can sit there and say, look, this is, any type of training is better than no training, absolutely. Again, and that's fine, but you know, we want to come in beyond that. We want to come in where, hey, you've been training or you haven't trained in a while and you want to do something different. You really want to get the body to do stuff it hasn't done before. And going back to about the boredom thing, it's probably happened to you, or you've seen it happen around you in the gym, where buddy or sister is sitting there doing arm curls and, you know, looking around, what's happening, oh, who's sending it over there, what's going on, that kind of stuff, you know, going through the motions and putting it down. And then they wonder, well, why aren't my arms changing? Why am I not getting stronger? Well, look at the mental engagement they just had there, right? If it's truly a challenging workout where it's going to push your limits, cause body to adapt and stuff like that, there's no time for your mind to wander. It's like, I got to finish this last 3 reps, I got to engage, I got to focus. My whole world's about getting 50 feet down the line with a prowler. Well, when your mental is dialed into the same level as what you're asking the physical to do, then you've got a bigger difference. Then you've got a huge thing happening. And there you're going to acquire more trauma to that area that you're trying to work on, or system, in 15 minutes than some people waste their time for 45 minutes on the elliptical, you know, powering their way through. Listen, if you're 400 pounds and you can barely move up a flight of stairs, getting on the elliptical is going to have a training benefit.
Okay.
But within 2 to 3 weeks, your body is adapted and it needs more.
Yeah, it's a tapered effect. I mean, like, you know, you can start off with walking if you're inactive and get some results.
Yeah.
The problem is your results are going to run out at a certain point, and you're going to have to shift up the scale. You're going to have to throttle up sometime because your body is just going to keep on adapting. So you're going to have to keep on adapting with it and keep challenging it to new levels. That's the process of periodization and programming. It's called progressive resistance for a reason. So if you're not progressing, well...
And there's other ways that we can work on the progressive as well. It doesn't always have to be on getting heavier with your weights, but it can be like getting more reps in, more volume, getting more rounds of 2 exercises in 30 minutes. Let's say you got 4 rounds in the last time because you're just starting, and a month later you try it again and you get 7 rounds in, right? Well, that's a huge improvement in work capacity. It's a huge improvement in fitness. Exactly, covering that distance, getting your 3K run faster. I mean, those are all different things. And with coaching, the way we do it is that's what we're looking at, right? Well beyond the sets and the reps, it's how can we make you improve? How can we have you strive so that you can succeed and, you know, and demonstrate that in a timely fashion that there is improvement, and then train in such a way that your body and you are setting those goals. Hey, I want to be faster on this 5K in 4 weeks. Well, then having that's why as coaching comes in, so well, here's the plan, here's what we're going to do. And coaching as well is always about motivating and getting you to go a little bit more than you thought you could do, pushing you outside your limits within your body's capabilities, but definitely outside that comfort zone, right? Not the danger zone, not the pass out and stuff like that. That's not coaching. That's just being an idiot and, you know, bragging about how sore you make your clients and stuff like that. That's you know, there's people that do that, trainers that do that, and that's a joke just as much as the ones that undertrain them by just following the cookie cutter workout as well too. So coaching is all about managing, it's all about motivating, and it's all about directing and steering the outcome of the workout with the individual. And to me, you know, I said this for a couple of years now at Hostile, we're coaches, we're not personal trainers, right? Personal training gets used because people understand it, but it's in how coaching comes out that makes a big difference overall. And I think that's what probably the biggest thing that sets us apart from a lot of places and a lot of the trainers overall.
Well, that and the relationship that you build with your clientele. I mean, like, you know, I've gotten in depth with so many of my clients that, you know, I know what they're having for breakfast, I know what they're doing, I know what the kids' names are, I know what the kids are up to. I mean, like, I physically want to know what they're doing so that I can help them in the best manner possible. You can't do that if you're just, you know, coming in and plugging your, you know, little clipboard away and so, hey, well, what are you doing? What kind of things do you like to do in your free time? Are you doing any of those? Blah, 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 blah. You have to get, you know, personal with people, and you have to make them believe in themselves. This is the big thing.
And I think going on that about being personal, it's not the same as becoming their best friend, right? Because my whole goal about knowing about you is also be able to call bullshit when it's time to call bullshit and say, you know what, listen, I know damn well you didn't do that, because first thing is I can see it today on the workout, and I also got to know you, so I can sit there and say, you know what, a real friend would tell you what's really going on. Well, okay, maybe we're the real friends then overall, and that's what's important for us as well too. And sometimes when we've had those discussions with clients, it's done more to motivate them, because all of a sudden their accountability goes up and they realize, hey, you know what, I can't bullshit this guy, you know, that kind of thing. And you know what, then they're forced to produce better results. And they want to. That's the whole thing too, right? Psychologically, they want, when they come to see us, when you guys come to see us to get trained, you want to improve, right? And it's not easy, but at the same token, you know, it'll get easier because we're pushing you and we're getting you to do things that you wouldn't do on your own, right? Come do a workout with one of us as a coach. Go do the very same workout a week later on your own. It's not going to be the same workout. It's not. Some of our clients get mad because they're saying, well, when I work with you, I do so much, and then when I'm working on my own, it's not the same. Now I feel like I'm stuck having you as a coach. I'm like, excellent.
Yeah,
because it's showing you the difference. It's not me telling you that it's different. It's you feeling the difference, you know, through all your senses, how you feel, how things, how your body moves, you know, just the overall effect. When you're done with us as a coach at Hostile, you're like, man, that was a killer workout. That was a great workout.
Well, it's a psychological effect too. I mean, like, you know, you can take people and put them on camera or put them in a spot where they're being viewed and they're going to work harder. It's naturally proven. I did this experiment a long time ago with some of my older clients. I had really bad laryngitis and I couldn't talk to them. So I would say, you know, hey, look, I'm having a real tough time talking. So I'm going to demonstrate the exercises. I may point and grunt, and I'll give you like sets and reps on my fingers. They worked just as hard. They performed just as well as they did as long as I was there and I was pushing them along. And a lot of times it's just the fact that you're helping them and you're delivering them a good quality workout. You can kind of work out some of the kinks and some of the issues that you have. I mean, you know, we've got various clients from, you know,
you just worked with Jody Middick,
Jody,
double leg amputee.
Yeah, double leg amputee. I've worked with diabetics. I've worked with tons of people that have thoracic spine issues, lower back issues. You know, those are all things that can be, you know, enhanced by proper training protocols. Whereas most people, even some doctors, would be like, whoa, what are you doing? Like, that's not cool.
Yeah, and that's the difference, is that the range that we have and that we're confident with is that if someone can't make this movement happen for various reasons, we can adjust the movement or tailor it to them overall. So again, falls well outside that cookie cutter method and stuff, because we've gone to the point where we've done thousands of hours of our own training, thousands of hours of training others, so we've run into a lot of scenarios. And sometimes we come up with a solution just based on the fact that we've done this 100 different ways, and we're like, well, let's try it this way. Oh, okay, well, how about, oh, there we go, I think we got something, right? That's something that only comes with confidence, time in, your 10,000 hours, you've heard of that concept that you master something or begin to master it after 10,000 hours. Well, that's where we're at with overall. And the other thing too about what we do is that you're not trying to get trained by a trainer in the middle of a 30, 40,000 square foot facility with 500 people around you, right? I don't know about you, but where you work, how would you get stuff done? How can I say this? How productive and proficient would you be in your office space if there was 85 people around you and you're trying to explain something to a colleague, right? You're trying to get your point across. You're trying to do your job, but meanwhile there's 50 people all within earshot, making noise, going on, doing their own thing, stuff like that, right? There's going to be a difference in the deliverance quality. Now, if you come in here into a smaller facility, I think over 6,000 square feet, but Jess is working with his client over there, I'm working with one of my clients over there, maybe there's a small group doing stuff like that. Well, we're talking maybe there's a half dozen people going on at the same time, and they're all doing the same type of training with the same mindset. Well, now that's more of a motivational thing. That's what I call mob rules in a positive way. But at the same token, I can turn around and have a discussion with my client and not worry about it being an earshot down the line. I can sit there and correct, Sally's form on something, and she doesn't feel uncomfortable because there's 50 people watching her and stuff. And that's everything too, right? A private facility, that's a huge benefit overall. It really, really is.
Definitely. There's actually, a lot of people are scared to work out either by themselves or go into a big facility. When they walk into our facility, they're kind of like, wow, this is really impressive, but it's really quiet. Yeah, sometimes it is really quiet when we don't have a lot going on. So, having a private facility is nice because you get that private attention. You can do whatever you want.
And there's not 9 of us fighting for the one power rack. We have 3 power racks in the bench press, right? If you look around in our videos, we have 140 kettlebells sitting on the floor. We have thousands of pounds of plates, multiples of everything, so that you don't have to sit there and say, oh, okay, I really want to do this, but how long, Jess, until you're done with your plan on that, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't happen, right? We turn around and say, okay, I can grab it. So if we're training and we see something that's beneficial, we can change on the fly that, this would be a perfect time to introduce this. Right? Well, here's an opportunity. Or, that's a great workout. Let's throw this in the mix. Well, we can react to the situation, to the client, and to the workout immediately. Well, who's going to benefit from that? The client. The client gets far more out of that workout overall than they would if they were sitting there and having to cool off while they wait for the one leg extension. Yeah. Right? Those are the big differences overall. One of the biggest things too, the tool that we're pushing the most overall, and I don't like to say push because it has a negative connotation. What we're offering as a really good solution or a tool is the assessments, right? We have a $20 assessment. For $20, you book an hour with a coach, and we can sit down and break down what your goals are, what's going on, but then we can actually come out onto the floor, test you through your FMS, test you through some cardio, test you through some endurance things, and see where you lie in relation to that goal from where your starting point is now, because then we can turn around and sit there and say, okay, here's what you want to do, here's where you're at, and here's what you can do. Well, all of a sudden, the plan we put together is going to be much more relevant to the individual. So even though a swing is a swing is a swing on a kettlebell, how many sets, how many reps, when we put it into the workout will be different based on client A, client B, client C, and their goals and their relation to it overall. We want to train everyone to improve. We consider everyone that walks in here an athlete, right? Some are just more into their off season than the in season, right? That kind of thing, right? He's in season, I'm mid season.
Been off season for a while.
Exactly, and that's really how it is.
Sit the bench.
And because of it, one of the biggest comments I get from a lot of our clients is, I really appreciate the fact that you treat me like that. You don't treat me like some guy who has no idea what they're doing and you're wasting my time. You treat me with respect and motivation and that kind of thing, and they will work harder for that. They'll work hard for their coach because their coach is bringing it to them as well too. We say it, the more you want your results, the more you're willing to work for it, the more we're going to do with you overall.
Your motivation feeds our motivation.
Absolutely. I came in the other day.
Get pumped up when you guys are pumped up.
So. Absolutely. I came in, Jesse just finished working with 3 young lads the other day, and he was pumped. And I'm like, oh, what's going on? He goes, these 3 guys were just right into it, and they were pushing, and they were working hard and stuff. And he was motivated by it and stuff like that. So for us as coaches, that's one of the biggest rewards overall is when we see people rocking a good workout and we see them pushing themselves and getting 5 more reps than they would have done on their own and that kind of stuff. But also we see them bearing down and going after it. That gets us excited. Because that's, when that starts to happen, when that switch happens in the client's head, cool things happen. That's, you know, everything else now is elemental. Those results are coming because that's happened. And then as coaches, we've helped create that environment. We've helped create that switch in there. And that's our rewarding giving back to the, you know, universe. That thing. I can make up for past life indiscretions.
It's all about making bigger, better, faster, stronger people. So
Absolutely. So,
making everybody more awesome.
so anyway, guys, if you're interested in getting involved and finding out more about us and seeing what we can do for you and getting an assessment, best $20 you ever spend. You spend more than that on pizza on a Wednesday. You know, spend it on yourself. Get in, you know, see what you can do. Get to know us a little bit. And after that, we're just having a discussion as to what's the best way to proceed. Check us out at hostileconditioning.com. We're at 1977A St. Joseph Boulevard, underneath the Royal Oak. And we're here to help you guys, so don't be shy to drop us a line. Let's get you going. Crush it.
Smash it.